Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Echo Base X-Wing Mission Debriefing, live on Gold Squadron Entertainment. I'm Walker Darko and losing my voice, and with me tonight are Jake Ream
Hey everybody, how's it going?
and everyone's favorite Kevin Lights.
I'm the fate. I like that. All right, cool.
That's called sarcasm.
I'll take it.
Just kidding.
All right, so tonight we do have another game from the Hyperspace Qualifier at the Gaming Goat in St. Paul. And we have a local player who has done quite well, Tim Sturm, taking on Andy Priest.
Who also did quite well. Just got top 4 system open that you guys were just watching.
No, wrong Andy.
Very
Oh
different.
wait, this is Andy Priest, not Andy Myers. My bad.
Right. Not the top 4 system open Andy Myers. This is Andy Priest, but also a very good player. So I will go through the list real quick. Tim Sturm is running a Republic list. We've got Anakin Skywalker with Sense, R2 Astromech. He's running the Delta 7B configuration and a spare parts canister. Haven't seen that one before, so it'd be interesting to see if he makes use of that or how he makes use of it. And his other 2 ships, we've got 2 104th Battalion pilots, one of them with Seasoned Navigator, and the other one has Chancellor Palpatine and Clone Commander Cody. And Andy Priest is running a Rebel squad. This is a Rebel Alpha Strike. He's got benthic 2 tubes with Leia and a Perceptive co-pilot. He's got Wedge with Swarm Tactics, Proton Torpedoes, R5 Astromech, Shield Upgrade, and then the servo motors. And the last one is Dutch Vander with Swarm Tactics, Ion Cannon Turret, Proton Torpedoes, R3 Astromech, and a Shield Upgrade. I like what Andy was doing. I got to play him in round 6 of this event, and he uses Wedge to bump Dutch and then Dutch to bump benthic, so all 3 ships are shooting at 6.
Okay. Yeah, it's the old tie swarm chain effect, but with ordnance.
And it's very effective.
So there's 3 things I think I'll be curious to see how they come into play this game. One is Sense. I don't believe spare parts will matter too much, but we'll see.
That was my question.
I want to see if Seasoned Navigator does anything at an I2.
Yeah. I don't know if in this game it'll do a whole lot, just because Andy is running both Wedge and Dutch at I4 and I6, and I can't remember which one of them had player 1.
Well, we'll find out when they move there.
As soon as those rocks go down.
Yeah. And the other thing is we will not do the time on the list overlays just because to start all of that in sequence with the video would be just a little bit tricky.
Right, because we speed it up. Yep.
Right, yep. So, just letting everybody know.
All right, before we get started, we just have our one announcement that we'll do with the template drawing. We're going to give everyone... Are we going to agree till the end of the episode? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we'll do it at the end of the episode.
Okay, so everyone that is a patron by the end of the episode will be entered in, and we will then do the raffle/drawing to see who gets the set of hyperspace templates.
Not a raffle. Just a giveaway.
Oh, whatever. Drawing giveaway. That's right. He was very articulate this week about giveaway. It's a gift.
Just a giveaway.
Yeah. And those are the current season's hyperspace trial templates, correct, Kevin?
Yeah, yep, they're the top 8
And
templates from this season.
is it just the template set, or is it the template and range ruler set?
Templates and range rulers, the whole shebang.
The whole...
Shebang.
Awesome.
All right. If we're ready to go, then we can go ahead and start.
All right, let's go. I think that was Anakin's mom's name, Shmebang.
Kevin, Twitch chat is asking you to turn up your microphone.
Yeah, I just adjusted it. How is it now?
Give
Like,
him,
I have it at 100%.
give him a minute and see if we...
I up my gain a little bit. I don't know if that mattered.
So based on rocks there, it looks like Andy is player 1. Tim's placing the last one there. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
A lot of open space, though.
Yeah. They said the sound is better for you, Kevin. So
Okay.
we're good now.
Yep, let me know if I need to turn up or adjust it again. So 2 arcs, lots of medium bases. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the medium base is good for the game.
They're good, but it's going to make rocks interesting. They're going to become much more of a impact with where you can go.
I mean, doesn't everybody just use gas clouds now? So it doesn't matter.
But look at this rock placement.
I mean-
It's almost like it doesn't matter. They're just going to fight in this top where no one has to deal with it.
Typically, Jedi lists use gas clouds, yeah. So I'm kind of surprised that Sturm's not.
I'd give him credit for not. Good job, Sturm.
I mean, like, with Jedi, it can be the right decision, or aces in general, it can be the right decision.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate them too, but
I have a problem with them because they have almost no consequence, and part of the idea of having obstacles is you have to maneuver a little bit more, and the fact that you just don't, especially when it comes to force users, the consequences are even less.
So easy just to park behind
not
one
wrong.
and never take damage.
Yeah. And hey, when you go over it the next turn, it doesn't matter either because you have force.
Very true. Don't need an action.
Right. So ideas on engagements and where each player wants to push the fight to happen at.
I mean, just looking at Tim's list, I'm thinking he's going to brawl with his 2 arcs and try to pick around the edges with Anakin.
Walker, you went digital there for...
because entirely built around the engagement ranges and the
Yep.
initial engage. And with 2 arcs, it's really hard for Tim to control the engagement as well as you could with a small base ship that can both boost and barrel roll.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to kind of, like, there's no way he can stop the Alpha Strike from happening on 1 arc, but he's going to have to try to get it so that he comes from multiple angles and he
Yep.
arrives at the right time. Because if he doesn't arrive with all 3 ships at the right time and one of his arcs just gets nuked, the game's kind of over and there's not a lot he can do about it. So I'm actually kind of surprised that Anakin started turned in towards the board edge instead of heading straight out where he could just 5 forward and start the initial flank, since he is the best ship capable of flanking.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that he's holding him back and it's going to take him a couple turns to maybe take the middle if that's the approach that he sends Anakin. But we'll see.
So, which one wants to pull the other one through the rocks the most?
I think Tim wants to. Since Tim has forward and backward arcs and a Jedi, he has more mobility and fire duty cycle.
Sure.
He has much more maneuverable ships as well.
Yeah, I think Andy's main objective here is to get that first engagement where he can nuke one of the arcs with multiple torpedo shots, disengage, come around, and do another pass.
Right. Yep. It'll be interesting to see where the engage actually happens.
Yeah. So interesting that Kevin, you had talked about Tim doing like a 5-4 with Anakin to push the flank. His current positioning does allow him to do that in either direction. If Andy starts to turn in, or if Andy did turn in on that first turn, Tim could have then turned Anakin again with the barrel roll boost and
Rookie
gone
tokens.
up forward.
Yeah, he could. I'm just really surprised because the way that he's approaching this right now, he just will not have a flanker. He's kind of going without the flanker, and he's gonna maybe have like a 2-in-1 approach or a 1-1 and then like a slightly off to the side one approach, but
Yeah.
it's not a approach that I would say is ideal. Oh, Sturm is barrel rolling wrong. I just saw that Twitch chat had mentioned that he's barrel rolling just a little bit further than the template he is technically.
He's lining up the front of his base with the center of the line.
And it looked like he went past the line, but it's not a big deal.
Well, the next time we see him, we'll have to give him a hard time about that.
It's probably old age, Was this at an event? Yeah, this was at the Gaming
Boat
Goat
Hyperspace.
one.
Yep.
I mean, it wouldn't be a stream without cheating. It's Gold Squadron. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's the bounty.
So do we start to see Andy make his turn in now that he's past that first line of rocks, to where if he started to bank in?
So Andy has two choices. Yeah, he could either start to make the turn in, or he could accelerate really quickly and get to the wide open space, and then decide to hard cut in, because he'll know in far advance when those arcs are getting there.
Yep.
And I actually think instead of starting the bank in now, it would be advantageous for Andy to really go fast this next turn and then turn in, because Tim has to clear stress on that bottom arc, which means he has to go slow. And I think he's going to end up creating a conga line with those two arcs, and Anakin's going to kind of get caught in that as well. And I think he'll be able to funnel all of them through those two middle pinkish outlined rocks.
Okay.
And that would be ideal for Andy to funnel everything of Tim's through that.
Yeah. Well, looks like Andy's opting to bank in now.
Kind of surprised about that.
Well, I see that as it's a lot of wide open space. If he does turn in or start to make that turn in now, if Tim doesn't, he could always just turn away and use that upper left corner of the board to kind of stall until Tim gets there.
He could, yeah. The other thing it kind of brings up too is though if he had gotten to the middle and then came in, it opens up a lot of areas for his 4Ks. Like if he wanted to start K turning, whereas now if he K turns, he's at an offset angle, and it gives Tim more freedom to have responses, knowing the flips will be less advantageous and he's not limited by rocks. But yeah, so Tim's clearly trying to pull Andy into the rocks.
Yep. So let's see Tim's barrel here. There's the line. He lined it up with the back of the template.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
This will be the first turn that Anakin has actually completed a maneuver.
Well, maybe. See, what you don't know is he's gonna like 3 hard turn into that back arc or something.
Fully complete.
Oh, come on, Tim. You're killing me.
So
Maybe
I'm
that.
trying to
Go ahead.
figure out when Tim's gonna push Anakin out, right? Because he doesn't want them all. Like, you don't want to ever have your ships, especially against like an Alpha Strike list. You don't want to ever have all your ships that your opponent can just point in one general direction and everything is there for him to have target selection on.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep thinking and I'm waiting for Anakin to break away. And I'm surprised I'm not seeing it. So now the next question will be, how fast does he go? Or does Andy bank away so that he's, perpendicular to the board edge and then can hard 2 down? Like, is this a bluff kind of saying, hey, I'm going to start to come into the
Yeah.
rocks?
Is he
Or
teasing it?
yeah, is it like a tease to pull Tim
Right.
in and get a commit?
I don't know. I mean, with Andy's list, like, especially with the way Tim is still keeping his 3 ships clustered, I don't know if you need to tease it. Like, you just say,
Yeah.
okay, if you're going to keep your ships together, I'm going to point my arcs at you and I'm going to fire torpedoes at you and you're going to be sad.
Yep, I would agree.
Right.
That's where your spare parts canister comes in. Just you wait.
I keep waiting on like a 5 forward from Anakin.
So I haven't actually really looked too much into the spare parts canister. What does it do? Let's
It's
see.
basically like rigged cargo.
Okay.
Or you can use it to discard all the locks on you.
See, it's action, spend 1 charge to recover 1 charge on one of your equipped astromech upgrade. Or action, spend a charge to drop spare parts, then break all locks against you.
Yep.
So I guess I would say I actually like Tim using Anakin as bait here. Especially since Andy is moving first, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he
So,
is.
I actually like that.
The problem though is they have to lock Anakin in order for him to ditch those locks, and I doubt that he's gonna lock Anakin.
Right.
Well, I mean, ideally, no, you don't lock Anakin, right? You if you can have the arcs in range, then you lock those. But if Tim is continually pushing Anakin towards the center, teasing that or using it as Anakin as bait, and Tim properly range controlling, if Anakin is the only target, then do you just hold off and not lock Anakin that first engagement and then potentially not get torpedoes off?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, had the ships been staggered maybe a little bit better, you'd be
Sure.
correct. Like, you know what I mean? Then you're like, well, do I shoot at Anakin or do I turn away from him? But I see what you're saying. I would assume Andy kind of just looked at the loadout of the list and went, okay, I guess I'm just not shooting ordnance at Anakin.
Right. Probably.
They're both going to end up getting caught in the rocks. Not that I thought they would get caught in.
So I think it'd be interesting if Andy turned here with the Dutch. If he turned like a 2-turn or 3-turn in between those rocks, kind of cover Tim, like 2 turns from now
Mm-hmm.
with where those arcs are going.
I agree. I'm. I guess I just didn't expect, because like the place of engagement for Andy is definitely not those 2 center
Yeah.
rocks. And you're right. If he splits off and kind of covers more angles.
Yep.
So one thing that I really have to point out about the approach that Andy's taking is as great as it is to have your ships all kind of focused, centered together like this. You're really broadcasting to your opponent what you're doing and
Yep.
what your options are. And it really limits your movement, especially with Benthic in the front. Like, I
Yeah.
get he's going to go, but he can only go so far. And that's telling you, like, okay, well, Wedge is never going to boost.
Yep.
And you probably won't barrel roll. So, I mean, it's just eliminating some of your options that your opponent no longer has to rule out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make your opponent make less decisions, it's worse for you than it is for your opponent because they have more of an insight as to what your options are.
Right. Yeah, because if you look at Dutch right now, what are Dutch's options for next turn? I mean, you can one forward, maybe one bank, two bank, three bank all to the left, two forward, depending on how fast Benthic goes. But Dutch cannot turn to try to engage those arcs further up the board, like
Right.
because of where that middle asteroid is.
Yep. And you're correct that it does look like Tim is really sending Anakin forward as here's the guy that you get to shoot at first. Are you gonna take your locks and try to shoot at him or not?
Is that
Right.
is that really what Anakin's for, though?
Well, I mean, he's your ace, but
Is
if
he
he
your
can
brawler?
also, I mean, he is a good brawler, especially with his ability.
Yeah. I
But
don't know though with the 7B, I don't know if you want to risk it. Like if Wedge, yeah, you have spare parts canister, so the first time you can use that, ditch the locks, but after that, if Anakin gets caught by Wedge, I think he's really sad.
well, he don't forget though, if he needs to, he has 3 regen charges
Yeah,
because he could always use canister to give him an additional regen charge.
yeah, it's true.
Now, I'm not sure if you guys are a little behind or not, but you will say Tim is using his black dice.
Is that what they looked? I wasn't sure what color they were. It looked
Yeah.
just off.
Apparently, Tim doesn't follow the rules of streaming.
We're just gonna have to be like Dion now and just say nope. You
Yeah.
have to use the regular dice or you don't get to roll dice.
Well, see, that's the thing. At the beginning of the event, I did make an announcement saying if you're playing on the stream table, I need you to use the stream dice so that way we can see them. And
You'll see they put their tournament sheet in the dice thing, and then they put the cards in the dice box, and now we're showing the cards that you get for hyperspace so everyone can see them. So this was a live event.
Do they move the cards off?
They do. The cards do move.
Okay. All right.
Before anything
make
important.
sure.
They were good stewards of the stream.
All right. So
Well, pseudo, right? If Tim uses his black dice the whole time.
Okay, Andy was a good steward of the stream.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much, Andy. If you ever watch this in the future, thank you for being a good stream player.
those tokens though that we have, they look really good.
They pop.
And
They
big
do.
and out. So let's see. Does Benthic go fast? Because the problem he has is like, even if the arcs, like if one does a 2 hard up and 2 does like a 1 bank or a 2 bank, I think actually if 2 does a 1 bank and 1 does a 2 hard, I think he can stay out of Dutch's range. Maybe.
Well, does Benthic turn just enough to try to block Anakin? Just I don't know, because I don't know what you do with Anakin here. I mean, you basically have to just bail out quick.
Yeah, Tim has to decide, is Anakin bailing or not? Like, is he going to act as bait this turn, doing like a 3 bank out and say, okay, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Or does he just like 5 forward and kind of risk it?
We've got Twitch chat saying that these are not Gold Squadron approved CPC tokens.
They are not.
Yes, that is true.
Very, very true.
Among other reasons, this game was also recorded before our partnership with Gold Squadron.
Yes.
And then going forward, those tokens were purchased before our partnership with Gold Squadron.
But it's nice to have a little bit of difference between the two streams, right?
Yeah, well, and then just a quick message to Dion when he listens to this. If you want to go ahead and put a link in the bottom to your video on medium base barrel rolling, that would probably be awesome. There's a
Yeah.
discussion in there about it, but I haven't sat and read everything.
So it looks like a few of the commenters posted some links to the rules, and I think they did get it squared out.
So I think we're gonna find out really fast, and I don't think he's going to take the bite on the bait of Anakin. But we're gonna see if Andy just decides to go all in on one of these arcs or not.
Mm.
Because I
That's
think
not
you
a
kind of
bad
just gotta go
spot.
all in on number 2.
I don't hate that spot for Benthic.
No, I don't either. It gives him a couple good options next turn.
If he has to rotate, he's in a fine spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, he's in a really good spot to rotate. He may not have a shot though, but he's acting as the blocker this turn.
Hey, Jude Allen 91 in the Twitch chat. Thank you. We're glad that we partnered with Gold Squadron as well, and also look forward to continuing to bring more content. It's kind of nice tonight where we ran, or Dion ran a little bit late, and so there wasn't really a whole lot of a break tonight. A lot of X-Wing content.
I did notice today on stream that Dion had planning phase music or long planning phases. So
In the final? Yeah.
I don't hate that idea.
No, it's pretty cool.
So it looks like we've got, was that a coordinate from the Palpatine?
It must be.
Yeah. Because
I mean,
Anakin just barrel rolled.
he
Yep.
barreled in front of a rock. Interesting. Okay, so Andy took the whole bite. He didn't want just a piece of the Anakin puzzle. He wanted the whole thing.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
well, and interesting that Tim had that, probably had that planned out, right? Like he was planning on Andy taking the bait on Anakin, so barrel roll Anakin, just YOLO him over that rock.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, you have the regen to get it back. The only
Mhm.
downside is you're not going to get that lock. And I'm surprised that he's taken all these locks right now on Anakin, even though he knows he's probably not going to have a shot.
Well, I mean, it's Dutch, right? So just grab a whole bunch of target locks anyway.
I guess, yeah. I mean, you'd think he would still take him on the arc, but whatever.
Well, he
Chat.
did, right? He took one on Anakin and one on number 2.
Oh, is that? Oh, he's just using. Okay, I thought that was 2 red tokens stacked on top of each other. Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I can't tell what he's using for tokens there.
He did forget. Chat was pointing out he did forget to flip,
Flip the
his
token as a reminder. So as long as he doesn't use it, nothing changed for game state.
Right. Yeah.
Tim just YOLO'd the rock. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the 2 locks on Anakin are one for Dutch, one for Wedge.
And no arcs on either one. So
Yep.
Interesting that he does a 1 bank. Huh. I thought he had a fast speed maneuver dialed in. And that must have been a no consequences rock roll.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
was.
Okay. So I wonder if he's thinking about, can I fit a barrel roll here? Because here's the other issue he kind of has is, it's great that he got him to bite on the bait, but now Anakin is blocking all of the arcs and future turns movements. Even if he does like a barrel roll away, he's gonna have to barrel roll boost. Otherwise, he's totally in his own way. Chat's asking why he moved the arc after Wedge. I think they forgot. I'm guessing they just forgot the arc hadn't moved yet, and Andy just kept going with Wedge, knowing Anakin moved after. So he uses the force boost and then takes a lock. Or are they measuring turret?
So hit focus blank.
That must have been the ion cannon turret.
Must be. Yep.
Yep, because he spent the lock.
Yep, so this is Dutch's ion through the rock, gets to...
Tim rolls focus of 8, or focus of 8 and spends the force.
Yep. Nothing. And then arc number 2 should be able to take a pot shot. Oh, he'll get 2 shots. Okay.
I think that's 3 hits. Ooh.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Good evade dice.
Really good evade dice. So 3 cancels 3, and now arc number 2. Right, they did correct the Palpatine token, by the way. They just flipped it over.
Sure. Good.
So I can't see the other evade dice. I see 1 evade. Must have been 2.
There's a shield
no, he
down.
took a shield. Okay.
That was a shield on Benthic, correct?
Correct. 1 on Benthic, and that is all. And then Anakin is at 1 force. Track.
Nah, I wasn't tracking force.
Okay, or sorry,
Just-
1 force used. He should regen 1 when he does his thing.
Yep. The chat's commenting on Tim using the black dice and how they're almost invisible and that they are TIE Phantom approved.
Okay, so Benthic kind of needs to move because he's in everyone else's way. He doesn't want to just rotate.
Yeah, there isn't any move that either Wedge maybe could get by with a bank if Dutch got out of the way, but unless Dutch turns to the ship right, like banking or turning, there's no moves that they can clear with Benthic in that spot. Reality Lemon in the Twitch chat's asking about table audio. We do have table audio, but we just have it turned down because otherwise, with the way we have everything set up, you guys would hear it as well. We because the games are recorded, we're not as easily able to isolate table audio from the way we're doing the show.
I mean, I could try it.
It's all right. I just turned my audio up a little bit so I can hear them talking lightly. So I'm going to guess that number 2 is coming in to coordinate a pre-boost to Anakin so he can hard turn in and get a shot. And number 1's probably just going to take like a 1 forward. You guys kind of agree that's probably the play from Tim here?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he could also, number 2 could bank to the left, do like a 1 bank and do the same thing, but that would allow Anakin to barrel roll 1 hard and then boost after the move.
Yes.
I'm just alternate way of basically accomplishing the same thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it so that Anakin can still get his lock.
Sure. Well, he could,
But
right? So he could barrel roll. He could coordinate the barrel roll. Then he does the one hard turn to the left. Then he uses the ship ability to boost, and then takes the target lock as his action.
yeah, I think I'm just trying to get a sharper turn. Like I'm thinking he would boost first and then one hard
Okay.
and just get a sharp turn instead of barrel rolling and then doing the one hard.
Yeah.
I really don't know a great move for Benthic here though. If he wants to pass the token, he kind of has to stay close, but
Mm-hmm.
he can't really just rotate because he's going to cause a traffic jam.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid Benthic's gun's going to be off this turn.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because he needs to move him.
Right.
Yep. And it looks like he's just doing a 3 forward.
Yeah. I was wondering if he was going to do a 3 bank or something.
Yeah. I mean, this position does allow him to stop and rotate 180 the next turn, or
It
even,
does.
and then he's behind or off to the side of Tim's 2 arcs, which is a good place. It's just unfortunate that his guns are off this turn.
Yep.
But like it goes back to like what you were saying, Kevin, where Benthic is leading the charge with Wedge and Dutch right behind him, and he's limiting their moves.
Right.
Whereas
like
if
we
he would have
talked
spread out, yeah.
Yep, and like we talked about before the game started, Andy's whole objective is getting everything together all at once to just blow something up.
Yep.
And right now, at maximum, he can only get 2 shots on target instead of 3.
Yeah.
The question is, does Tim coordinate? Doesn't look like it.
No,
Nope, he's taking a
target
lot. Okay. Then it looks like neither of us were right as far as our coordinate to
lock.
Anakin.
Yeah. We were just trying to get a little too tricky there, I guess, huh?
2 forward. Okay. Sure.
We got all the tokens out there.
Lots of target locks. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like Wedge is going to burn in a fire this turn.
Dutch is getting out of there.
Yeah.
He'll have ion turret, maybe, but that's about it.
So something huge that's happening this turn is no torpedoes,
Mm-hmm.
or at least 1 torpedo instead of a salvo.
So do
which
you
is-
think Andy was doing this because he realized the positioning was just not advantageous and he's trying to clear out for a turn?
Yeah, I think he realized that he lost the engage pre-jockey, and
Yeah.
he does not have good positioning.
Sure.
But unfortunately, I think that might really put him behind.
Yeah, and we've got S foils closing on Wedge, so yeah, he's just
He's running
turning.
away.
Yep.
Yeah, this is going to be basically an unanswered turn of free shots with Tim. That's not at all what Andy wants.
Yep.
And not a really easy turnaround next turn either. I mean, Leia.
Yeah, Leia, but now Wedge is kind of like they've all broken apart, right? Like you could flip
Right.
the U-wing, you can flip Dutch, but
You don't have a kill box.
yeah, you've lost your unified front.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only thing is, unless Tim banks away with the arc number 2, if he goes to the right, even if you K-turn with Dutch, you probably still end up getting that shot off. And if Benthic stops and turns, you can still pass the second focus token to Dutch. So you still could potentially get a double modded torpedo on number 2 from Dutch.
Right.
But yeah, Wedge isn't there. Like, and that's really what the strength of his list is getting 2 torpedo shots off at once and really punishing.
See how close
Yeah, I'm really
Tim had to get to the
surprised.
card to read it?
I'm really surprised with this approach. But I think this is a good lesson, right? A good lesson to learn on on how to get a close, having your stuff close together, but how to get that approach correct so that you can get the flexibility you need to have the engage you want.
Mhm.
Tim got 2 shields off Dutch.
All right, so 2 shields.
Got him.
The singular shot of the round. All right, so I guarantee we say Leia this turn, right?
Yeah, I think so.
To.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to turn on table audio and see what it does. If anyone hears it.
So I think I'm gonna agree with Chad. I think we're gonna see a Talon roll from Wedge,
Mm-hmm.
probably a 4K from Dutch, and a flip from. No, it's Benthic. Yeah, a flip from Benthic.
Yep.
We see what, a 2 hard from Anakin. I'm assuming he can squeeze that in.
You're going digital there, Kevin. Reality Lemon in the Twitch chat is asking about and those are target locks. I want to say most of those came from local events, and the image on them is like the targeting computer from A New Hope.
I turned on some table audio. I don't know if anyone can hear it.
I can't hear any of the table audio.
Sure.
So does that sound okay, Jake?
Yeah, that's better.
Right.
Both
So
Walker are kind of going in and out every once in a while. Your
are we
voices.
gonna see a
I
3
haven't lost
bank
anyone.
from the lead arc? Or are we going to see a 4 forward?
3 bank to the left or right?
Yeah, to the left. Or is he just going to go 4 forward towards Wedge?
Well, because you've got all the target locks on number
Wedge.
2. Well, no, I'm saying Dutch and Wedge both have target locks on 2. Depending on which way you think Wedge is going to turn around, like if you think he's going to Talon roll to the ship right, you could like 1 bank right with number 2 and try to keep some range and not take torpedo shots, because right, like you're planning on Leia being used this turn, so Dutch is gonna K turn, Wedge is gonna Talon roll, so you kind of have an idea where they're gonna go.
Yep.
And if you can move slow, and then, or even like if he goes 2 forward and then barrels to the right, like that might give him enough distance to maybe only take 1 torpedo on number 2 this turn.
And there's your turnaround.
Yep. And Leia did get used.
Yep.
I had to look too. I didn't realize the arc's 4 forward was red.
Yeah, so you think he just slow rolls it 1 forward to victory and no, let's get that rear arc in there.
I wonder if we see a barrel roll after that 3 bank.
I'd like to see if the barrel roll is done properly, and chat will let us know.
I'm sure it won't be. Okay, so he 3 banked the other direction.
Yeah, I think you need to create that distance there, not take 2 torpedo shots on number 2.
But I don't think there's a way he can escape it. Like, unless if he barrel rolls right, he's going to be stressed. Dutch won't be able to shoot him, but Wedge for sure will. I mean, I guess you're only getting 1 torpedo.
Right.
But wouldn't you almost rather just get range 1 if you can? Actually, I don't know that he can get range 1 if he does a Talon roll.
He's getting in there, though. Other way.
Yeah, he's getting in there aggressively.
Still can't tell if he did the barrel roll correctly,
I believe
though.
he
Well, yeah, we
edged the
can't tell
template
from
to the
this
middle
angle.
of his ship base.
Oh, I'm afraid this arc's not even going to get a shot.
Number 2 or number
Or
1?
one.
Arc number 1. I think Arc 2 will get a shot on. I mean, minimum he has a rear shot if he has
Yeah.
to at Benthic, but I'm afraid number 1's not going to get a shot at all.
Yeah, I don't think you will.
And this is kind of what we talked about in the very beginning is it's really hard with 2 arcs to get them to engage at the right time so this doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like you really have to plan that engage in advance to make it work.
Well, and also probably not have the engagement happen in the middle of the asteroid field,
Correct.
where you have more room to maneuver, and that's. I mean, the medium bases do fit pretty much anywhere. Like if you're used to flying large bases, but you still have to have like if you have 2 of them next to each other, you got to have that room.
Right. But what's funny is the irony that so last turn, or I should say, in the initial engage, we saw Tim really have the positioning and have a great engage. But now this turn, we're going to see Tim basically have no good shot. I mean, he'll have one shot at Wedge and that's it. But Anakin's basically out of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
The other arc isn't going to get a shot, and I'm pretty sure that front arc is going to eat 2 torpedoes this turn.
Yep, because
Yep.
Dutch just target locked and gave one to Wedge, is what he said, but
Yeah,
he got
so
his
we
focus
have
off the other one, so.
yeah, so we have Tim basically having the advantage, and now it's flipping back to Andy just purely based on positioning, like dice rolls aside.
It's a
See,
wide
that's
kill
why.
box, but he's in it.
Yeah, and that's why I like the barrel to the left or to the right instead of the left with number 2, because I think you would have pushed number 2 out of range. I mean, from Dutch, you probably still are going to get that torpedo Wedge, but
But there, is it
Right.
good for Wedge to barrel roll, get out of arc, or would it have been better to take the focus and just PS kill if he can? Well, I mean, PS kill can be top at 9 hull, but
It'd be better to just not get shot when you're Wedge in this sense. Since he's basically getting an unanswered shot,
sure.
it's
Yeah.
better just not get shot. I mean, you don't even have to fire the torpedo. You could just shoot the regular shot right now.
Right.
Try to get shields down and then maximize torpedo next turn or future
Yeah.
turns.
and he did open S foils on Wedge as well. The card is flipped.
Yep. And this is kind of what I talked about in the beginning as well. Anakin's not in a position to flank at all, so he's constantly having to be super cautious with Anakin, and you need him to be firing. He's your
Yeah.
ace.
I wonder if that's just him, like, because he's the ace, he's the most expensive ship. Like, you're just being overly cautious with him anyway.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's got 3 regen charges. Like you have to, you know what I mean? You have to take
Right.
some risks.
Yeah, you got to put him in there.
But Wedge had some pretty good dice. If he would have had a focus token. But he didn't.
Yep.
So he did
Hit
shoot
crit.
a torpedo then.
Yep,
Okay.
so he turned into a crit.
And that was on number 2.
Number 2. And he gets no dice back because Wedge.
Yep. So with that target lock reroll there, since you're seeing all focus tokens or all focuses and the blank, would it be better for him to have just saved the target lock for the next turn
Yes.
instead of chase variance?
Yep. Because on average, you're going to get to 2, and is 2 really worth it? Like I still think he should have just shot a regular shot.
Yeah.
But this shot came out pretty well. Take a shield, take a hit, and take a crit that gives him 2 stress.
Ugh.
Not a happy number 2.
Twitch commenting on the terrible ordnance rolls.
Yeah.
If you guys were watching Bun play earlier, I watched 3
Blank out.
torpedoes have 1 hit or maybe 2 hits. It was pretty painful.
Yeah.
Oof.
So Carlo in the chat is commenting on the target lock that Dutch will just give Wedge another one next turn.
Correct.
So
He would.
I mean, I don't know.
Or
I
he
don't
could give Benthic one next turn.
could. I just don't generally like to chase variance with that. I would rather.
No, not until you have to.
Yeah.
So he's at 2 left, I think Tim just said. So arc number 2, I believe, is at 2
Got
health.
4 damage on him, yep.
And I've got that dated.
Yep. Now, say what you will about the dice cup, there is a thin layer of foam on the inside, so at least it's quiet. If I were to do it, it would be a full-on tin can. Just everyone around me would hear me shaking that thing.
Wasn't that what D was talking about using for a long time? Was like a dice cup, and then he went away from it.
I think he did use it for quite a long time, yeah. And it was just a tin cup, and it made a...
Ugh. Everyone knows where you're playing.
Yep.
So this was a really, really rough turn. That arc is basically kind of removed from the game. Like he's gonna never take any action again. Who is also your coordinator. So if anything, that arc should be in the rear. The
Yeah.
other arc should be leading. And now he's got a couple health left, never taking an action again. You'll never have coordinate the rest of the game. This game was a really good game to illustrate approach angles and
Mm-hmm.
really being familiar with the size and movements of your ships in respect to the other parts. That's why, like Jake and I talked a while ago about list building and when Nora was really good before they did the first points change as an arc. And I was like, I just really didn't like the arcs because they became so hard positionally to get them where you wanted. Whereas a small base ship with double reposition or either or makes it so much easier and you just have that flexibility.
Yep.
So you really have to be on point with these medium bases.
Well, and also knowing your point totals on your ships. I mean, knowing that you're leading with your 59 point, not your 47 point
Right.
of your two arcs. So if you're going to just start tanking damage.
Mm-hmm. And we have not seen Season Navigator yet, right? Nothing has happened there.
I don't think we'll end up seeing it.
No, I don't think so.
So he has to make a decision. Tim has to make a decision this turn because if he doesn't trade a ship or at least almost kill one of Tim's ships this turn, he's so far behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know
Like
how number 2 doesn't get PS killed.
I don't either. I think he's a dead man. There's not much Tim can do about it.
Like, because even if you turn number 2 left and try to turn him into wedge, like, you still have Dutch, right?
Yeah, you still have Dutch. And Anakin has to be careful. Actually, I don't know that he does. I feel like Andy, I think, knows he's just going to kill the arc the turn. This might actually be a safe turn for Anakin to just get aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you need Anakin to get aggressive because, like, Tim's in a position where you're probably going to lose that ship this turn, so you need to turn around and do some damage back. He's what? Wedge has no damage, and he's a couple damage on each the Dutch and the U-wing in order to get even half points on one of those ships. Like, this is where Tim needs to push.
Yep. I think you've got to just go for someone, whether it's the U-wing or Dutch, preferably Dutch, because Anakin moves after Wedge, and he's got the initiative given to Wedge, so he's fine. Like he can solo him endgame. I'm surprised he's turning away. I thought he would just like too hard in and just try to use the front arc as much as possible,
Hmm.
and maybe just get in his way.
Yeah.
Oof.
That
So
U-wing's not
Benthic
getting that
block.
shot. I was thinking Benthic seemed like the easiest kill if you're going to get one, but no, not
This
so
was a
much.
good block by Benthic though.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was smart, getting in front. Yeah, Dudge just goes leisurely too forward. Takes his lock and gives another lock to Wedge, I'm guessing, for the next torpedo.
Yeah. You just keep that fire duty cycle going.
Yeah, I think from Andy's perspective, you basically, since he's turned the arc that way and he's not presenting, like he's just giving his rear gun, you just take the other arc.
Yeah.
Give it to Wedge here. I'm just listening to him debate where he's giving the other lock.
Oh.
I'm surprised that he did that.
So Wedge is going to get a nice little shot here. So Wedge and Benthic at least get shots on number 2.
Yep, 2's gonna die for sure. We'll see how aggressive Anakin gets here.
Yeah,
But
and there you just see him take the target lock. You just rip into number 2 and just take it off the table.
Like, gonna turn it off.
Anakin goes slow here. Wow. Okay.
I think he was. I mean, I think he was thinking Benthic goes another 1 speed further, and then he's got a nice little kill box there.
Yeah, maybe.
No, we have not seen the use of sense yet. Chat is asking.
So we're gonna see the force barrel roll or boost. Okay, so he's going after Wedge. Not a wrong call by any means.
Well, since Wedge is going full offense on number 2, yeah, and if you can put damage into Wedge now, it's a good time to do it.
Wedge also has no defensive token.
Right. That's what I mean. Is because he's going, he's full offense on number 2.
So he's trying to swarm Benthic up, it looks
Yeah.
like. Looks like he's just out.
So Wedge is taking a shot, range 2 on number 2. Seems good.
Addies.
And that's a dead. The dead arc. But they're just clones. They're meant to be expendable.
Yep.
And he's gonna give him the stress. Sure. Okay.
One second, guys.
Sure.
So range 2, Anakin to Wedge.
I see paint, and nothing. So 1's blank, hit, and crit. Focus. They're taking 2 shields. Jake is running our overlays. He's back.
Yep. I'll let him know. So Wedge
2
needs
shields off Wedge.
2 shields off a Wedge. Okay.
All right, Dutch torpedo, I assume. Oh, he's checking for side. I mean, I feel like you just take the torpedo, right?
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah.
You've got it. Let it fly.
I'll focus.
And it was the irony that he was just out of range of passing the focus from Benthic
Yeah.
too.
So hit crit. Oh, crit.
Well, if anyone was curious what single modded torpedoes look like, today was the day to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benthic range 1. Anakin. force. Oh, all shields.
Uh-oh.
Ugh.
That's rough. I mean,
And
it's not
that's
like he can't get all of them back, but that's still not.
right. He
Hmm.
can, but that's the trick with Anakin and having that Delta 7B title or configuration is it's just you have to be extremely careful. What I've found with flying them, and you really do need to get them on the flank so that way you're not taking multiple shots. You know, because had things been in a little bit different position, if Wedge wouldn't have shot number 2, like Tim could have just lost Anakin this turn
Yes.
just from having 3 ships shooting at him.
And Leia will be up to full next turn.
So let's see here.
Can Tim pull this off?
Maybe
I mean, the problem is he's spread his damage out over everyone.
Yeah,
he did. Like, no one's into hull damage. Everyone still has a shield left. I mean, Wedge is kind of out of the fight for this turn. He's going to get to shoot at the arc unless Tim throws the arc forward. But Benthic moves first. So you almost just try to block Dutch, maybe?
Chat just said that Andy had a brilliant approach, evidently.
I mean,
In
I
retrospect, brilliant.
yeah,
Sure.
you know, or he made lemonade out of the lemons.
What was it the Foss brothers always said? I'd rather be lucky than good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Anakin losing all those shields really makes you not want to be as aggressive this turn. Because
Hmm.
before I was thinking like, you could sloop, knowing Benthic's gonna be there to rip your stress off. You could maybe 5K. But now if you screw up and guess it wrong and you don't get to remove that stress, Anakin's in a big problem. And you don't really want to disengage because that arc is just gonna get murdered.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, you could. Anakin's only down 1 force. You could sloop Anakin, but then
That's probably the right move, but you're still really risking
yeah,
Benthic having another good shot at him.
Mm-hmm.
right,
But I do agree, this sloop is probably his best option here because you can't afford to disengage right now.
right. But then you are risking if
The
Dutch
arc.
left, if well, Benthic is 1 forward maybe. You've got a couple shots coming in at him, and you're going to be depending on where Wedge is, what you maybe could trigger Anakin's ability, but
I'm gonna guess that Wedge is gonna one bank in towards the arc since
yeah,
he knows where he will probably be. Try to
sure.
guarantee that shot.
I was just thinking of how you could do the sloop with Anakin, like if you have the positioning to where you can use his ability to still get like a focus action to give him a little bit of defense
Sure.
because you only have 2 force anyway.
So Benthic does either a one bank or a one forward, I'm guessing. I mean, he could stop, but
He could,
I think he wants to pass the focuses around
yeah,
and try to block.
right.
So
And
I think
if he does that 1 forward, then yeah, he's gonna block most everything that the arc can do because of where Anakin is. Like unless the arc does like what, a 3 bank to the left. That would be the only thing that Benthic's 1 forward might not block.
yeah, I think so. So one forward seems like the correct play. So who does he give the focus to? What do you think?
I think you give it to Dutch.
Think so?
Yeah, give it to Dutch, and in hopes that Dutch can. Well, wait. Has he used both his torpedoes on Dutch? Yes.
He's used at least one.
Wedge still has a torpedo.
Wedge does. Okay.
Oh, yep, you're right.
I
He
was
only
just
has
thinking if Dutch still had a torpedo, you give it to Dutch and hope that Dutch can get a lock on Anakin, and
There's
then
a 3 bank.
throw
So
another torpedo.
good move by Tim.
Yeah.
And I think this should keep the arc really safe. I think you take it in target lock here. Knowing
Yeah.
that you're not going to be shot at by probably anyone.
I've got to step away for a minute. The
Sure.
7-year-old is having troubles.
Sorry.
Sure.
All right, so arc takes a lock out the rear. Sure.
Ooh.
Wait a minute. Is he on?
Best thing is I think he just slid that rock closer to him when he put his pinky down.
Is he safe? Oh, yeah, he just slid it a little bit closer, but
Mm-hmm.
I think he doesn't hit it.
Nope.
I'm kind of surprised he went that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe he was hoping for a block, but even if he got a block, there was no. I mean, the Y-wing's not taking a shot.
No, he's not. That's for sure.
I mean, it's not bad for coming around the rocks if you think the arc's coming down that way next turn.
Yep.
So as foils open,
Yeah, 1 bank. That's what I thought.
that's
Does he bump Benthic? No. If he doesn't, then he can barrel roll. Maybe to get the shot on the arc. It's hard to tell with this angle, but maybe. I don't know that he'll fit it. So he just takes oh, he's trying it. Okay.
Yep.
Gosh, that's going to be close. Oh, he's going to fit. Nice. Okay.
And Tim's the type of guy that will give it to you. So like he's not gonna be the one that's gonna try to be like, oh, it's, like nope, doesn't fit. Sorry.
Yep. Well, it's just a smart move, especially if Anakin does his sloop. It at least protects Wedge a little bit.
Judge.
Oh, what happened that they're calling Judge for?
Just to make sure that barrel roll fits.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think Tim's trying to argue it's range 0. Like it fits, but it's range 0. Because they're touching.
I mean, even if that's the case, it still technically works.
Yeah,
'Cause
but then
you can still-
Tim's trying not to take a shot.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, but the rule would be they could be technically range 0, but he doesn't overlap, so he could still perform the barrel roll. I guess that's what I'm saying. But I get what you're saying. Tim's trying to make sure, or trying to, yeah. I get. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the judge ruled that they were not touching. So he can complete the barrel roll, but he can't shoot at the arc because they're range 0. That's the ruling of the judge. Which, that seems correct.
And chat's asking Jake if Ernie was the judge.
Ernie was the judge
Yep, he was.
for a while, and then it switched to Big Vic.
Whoa, he slooped that way? Okay.
I think both of us, Kevin, were thinking the sloop to the right, not left.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys didn't give a direction because I think we all just had an assumption the word sloop meant one direction.
You're right, we did. And
correct.
To touch on that assumption, the chat did say earlier that it would be nice if we had the telestrator like Dion does.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, our technology is not up to date like Dion's is. So,
Well, the hard
like
part is
that way.
Like Dion's doing it all on one computer in one place, where we're watching the same video on 3 different computers, so we can't really do that.
Right. One person would have to telestrate, and yeah, it's
Seems like a pretty good shot.
So we've got.
And a 4 hull in the remaining.
Okay. So no shields and hull.
Oh, yep. And, you can just go ahead and keep going.
Oh, Anakin's taking the damage.
Yeah. Damaged engine. Oof.
Ouch.
I don't know how Tim's gonna get out of this one, and I don't think it's possible.
So, hit crit, 1 evade.
So
Benthic
why is
loses
Tim
a
rolling
shield.
4 dice out the rear instead of 3?
Unless that was Anakin, was it?
I don't think
Because
so.
there's 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because now he's shooting for the 3
Oh,
off
that
the
was
bat.
Anakin's shot.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
2.
And
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Swarm.
So 1 damage into hull.
On 2 tubes.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it. So he's half points?
No, he is not because.
Benthic has 6 hull.
Yeah, he's 6
Jeez.
total.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no,
Okay.
he's got half points.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I was looking in the wrong spot. Yeah, he's got half now. But he's only 100 points behind.
Is Leia back now? They just haven't.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's fully charged.
Okay. So if Leia's fully charged, we can see us. Well, everyone's gonna clear out, so we probably see a K turn from Wedge, right?
I don't know if this is the turn you use Leia. Like, Dutch is in a bad spot. I don't really like where Wedge is for a K turn because that leaves him open to Anakin just turning.
Well, I was thinking that you stop with Benthic
Okay.
and you pass the focus to Wedge, and then you do a hard 2 with Dutch, give the target lock to Anakin, or target lock Anakin, and then pass that to Wedge as well.
Okay.
And then Wedge can K turn, and if he needs to barrel roll or boost, he could, because he still has a torpedo yet.
Yes. Wedge has 1 torpedo.
Because I mean, in my opinion, you kind of ignore the arc this turn. Because if you kill Anakin, you just win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
True.
Anakin's probably going to need to run, and probably is going to 5 forward. So I guess if you just stop with Benthic, turn him left, and then you'll get to see where the arc is going exactly. I mean, Wedge could K turn and make his mind up and just shoot the torpedo from there. I mean, there's a couple ways he could go. But...
Yeah. But you could also, like, if Andy thinks that Tim is just going to bail out with Anakin and 5, you could bank the U-wing to the right, like a 1 bank. That gives you some space for Wedge to be able to, like, 2 turn to the left, which would be then still chasing Anakin. You know what I mean? Like, put
Yep.
more pressure on Anakin. Make
He
him
could.
make him possibly spend that last remaining force to boost out. Like, you just keep the pressure on Anakin.
Yep, you could. You could go either way, and I don't think there's really a wrong decision in this situation with Andy.
Okay,
He's
so we
got-
don't see Leia. He's not using Leia this turn.
This is your hope Anakin's not quite doing it, so he bumps.
I mean, if you're Tim, probably, right? Like, that's what you hope that you didn't do the 5 forward. Just jump right over that U-wing, give it a nice range 1 or 2 shot.
Right.
He's using Season Navigator. Oh my gosh.
We got to see it used.
I mean, okay, but really?
So what? He must have had like a 1 forward dialed in. And
Maybe.
I mean,
Doesn't Season Navigator make it red though?
I think it does.
Man, I'm just gonna tell Tim that even when he cheats, he still loses.
Let's see.
Poor Tim. And
Yep.
Anakin's getting all the
Lock-ins.
locks.
Well, no, it says increase its difficulty. So if it was the bank
It was green or blue, so now it's
blue,
white.
so it goes to white.
Okay, fine.
So he did not cheat.
I just wanted more to hold over Tim's head. So he decided to pursue Anakin, and
Yeah.
knowing that hard turns are now red, yeah, that probably is the right call.
Right.
The only downside would be as if Anakin did like a 2 forward or a 1 bank. He's not gonna get shot at all.
Right.
Which is part of why I kind of like the idea of wedge K turning, especially if you use Leia this turn, because then he can at least cover that vector.
Yeah. Well, he kind of is, right? Because depending on which way the ion cannon turret on Dutch is facing.
Maybe.
I mean, it's only range 1 to 2, but
'Cause if Anakin does a 1 bank, I think he doesn't get shot at. He might be out of.
yeah.
He might be in range 2. All right, Tim. Did you do a 1 bank?
Oh, I think he's asking him to Benthic.
Yeah. Are we
No.
gonna see a 5?
Oh,
3 bank?
yeah.
Oh.
That Anakin is not happy.
Well, I mean, yeah, that ion turret's staring right in the face, isn't it?
But you
Well,
spend your
and there's
force
no-
and barrel roll.
Like, yeah, you can barrel roll and not get shot by wedge, but then you're still going to get shot with the ion cannon.
Yeah, but you delay in that range 1 shot unmodded on wedge. That's
Sure.
fine.
Kind of surprised that he did the 3 bank out of all the moves he could have done. Yeah, I mean, you might as well, I guess, go for wedge, but I don't know. He's probably. I would check if you're range 1 a Dutch. I would just shoot a Dutch.
He used spare parts canister. Break lock.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't expect that.
Tim's not one to forget triggers.
That makes sense. That didn't even cross my mind.
And range 1 into wedge.
No, actually, it'll be Dutch
Oh,
shooting
do you
first.
switch? Okay.
Yeah.
So range 2 into Dutch is what they're saying?
No. Dutch is shooting into Anakin, the ion
First.
cannon.
Oh, okay.
So 1 damage and no ions.
Right, but 1 damage is a dead Anakin.
Yeah, that's right. So at least he got his garbage out first.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out.
So hit crit on a wedge.
So spend focus, take crit on shield,
Yep.
and say goodnight.
Range 3 on the back, so 2 on 3. Oof.
Whoa.
So even after he locked it, he only had 1, but blanked out, so wedge take the damage. Half points on wedge.
And that. Huh.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, at this point in the game, Andy just needs to disengage. The Ark can't catch any of Andy's ships, right?
And he needs the best MOV he can get. Right now, he's got those rookie numbers. He's got to pump those numbers up.
Got to get them numbers up.
I wonder if the torpedo just kills the arc. Like when they finally get back into the next engagement, Wedge fires the torpedo and he just kills it. And
Done.
yep, like all that work circling around and then it's over.
Yeah, I think it was going to flip play a 4K right now.
Yeah, you could. You could pop Leia right here and just flip everybody around.
Yep. Or Tim flies off the board. It didn't pop Leia.
There was somebody yesterday who he had 1 health left on like one of his ships, and it was at the end of the game, and he refused that the end of the game, and he put himself on a rock and killed himself, and made the other guy finish doing all his maneuvers and stuff. He was like, "No, I'm going out on my own terms. You can't stop me."
That's great.
It was really funny. It was like round 4 or 5. It was good.
I've done something similar. Last, not 2019 Adepticon, but 2018. I had a list and I was playing Darth Vader, and he was basically dead. I mean, like 1 or 2 hull left, and my opponent had all of his ships chasing Vader, so I 5-forwarded Vader off the table. And it just meant that like all of my opponent's ships were like facing the table edge and completely out of position because they were chasing Vader. And I mean, the game was lost. I was already in such a hole that it didn't matter. I wasn't coming back from it. But it just made me feel good that he didn't get to kill Vader, that I went out on my terms.
Yep.
So did we just see you
He
saw an
used it.
R5 usage
Yep.
to get rid of that damage card on Wedge?
Correct.
No, it's still sitting there on him.
Or well, they talked about using the droid. Yeah, he used R5.
What did he?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm looking at Ben.
So-
Thing. It still has one on him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reality Lemon's talking about it.
Yeah,
He saw
they're
it. It
calling
was
it.
pretty funny.
Yeah. They realized that,
The game's over.
yep, that the
So,
game did.
I think the biggest thing, like, it's hard to take away some of this. Like, it's hard to do.
Did
Really-
Kevin lock up?
No, I'm
it's
still here.
Oh, okay. You were just so deep in thought that you weren't even moving, and I thought your computer froze.
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, like, I still feel like this game was really just you could watch the first 10 minutes and get the gist of this game or the lesson to be learned in this game, which is the approach and
Yep.
really how to do it correctly.
And that really is. That was a range control game. Picking where you want the engagement to happen and just playing towards that, right?
Right.
So should we give everybody that's still listening one last call on those templates, the template giveaway?
Sure.
So anybody who's listening, we are going to be giving away a set of the hyperspace templates and range rulers to a current patron. You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Echo Base X-Wing. Maybe do like a 5-minute warning. So we will give those away in 5 minutes.
Did you see, Walker, the comment from chat from Carlo?
Yeah, well, I don't really have a voice right now.
So Carlo is one of the locals, and he requested that Walker used his NPR voice for the giveaway.
It's really easy if you get real close to the microphone, if you actually have your voice.
I'll actually go grab the templates real quick while you guys talk.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So the template set is one that Kevin won. I think he's gone top 8 in 2 different hyperspace trials so far this first season. And just to help promote our Patreon and our new partnership with Dion on the Gold Squadron Entertainment, we decided to do a little giveaway.
Yeah, so I'll play the Dio and Vanna White here. We have these nice range rulers, range 1 to 3. They're very pretty. And we have these templates to give away that are also not range 1 to 3, but are templates. These are the Hyperspace 2019 ones.
Speeds 1 to
So they're
5.
actually here. Yeah, speeds 1 to 5 with turns and banks. Full complete set.
Hey, we did just pick up another patron.
But yeah, these will be the ones that will give you guys. Make sure though after we do the drawing, do we want to have them claim them, or are we going to contact them?
We can send them a message on Patreon.
Yes,
Okay.
I will send the winner a message on Patreon. You do have to be a current patron and maintain it, for a month? For at least this month.
Yeah, at least get to the page. You can't just join tonight and quit.
But we definitely do appreciate everybody who has joined Patreon and also joins us for these live shows.
And we'll have more shows too. We're still kind of in the point of ramping up for content and trying to get games in. So we'll keep going. It'll get better as we go. We're kind of figuring it out along the way, but
Yeah.
I think we've got some cool ideas in store.
And to respond to chat, I have nothing to do with this drawing right now at all.
Except for the NPR voice, right?
Well, I don't think I have that right now either.
So I think we got a donation on YouTube. I'll have to double check how this
Okay.
of $2.
Nice. Every little bit does help. Go through and ramp up the production quality and also some of the things that we have to be able to go out and do the stream, record games, so that way we can bring them back and review these.
And we will also pull from Dion's list of games as well now.
Yep.
To do games. And I think down the road we'll possibly involve patrons in helping select what games we do and commentary we have. So that'll also be another factor. And then I feel like we can. Well, we can't announce. Well, we'll have to hold back on that one. We may or may not be at Worlds. We'll see.
Tease.
May or may not. Come on.
May
yes,
or may not.
we'll be there.
Well, at least be at the second chance tournament if we can.
Yes.
Chat's asking if we're going to do another game. No, unfortunately, we're not going to do another game. We're trying to just do one game at a time so far. The next game that we have lined up on the docket is going to be an infamous Vader Soontir in a bid from one of these local tournaments as well. So we'll get to show someone playing a 2-ship list that's got a massive bid. But that will be next week.
All right, we're getting down there. Just maybe one more minute, and then we will do the giveaway.
Chat says we should do 3 games at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
That would be really hard. Well, there was someone earlier that said we should do it at 1.25 times speed, and even this game was so fast that
That's what I said. I can't think that fast.
I gotta remember. I'd have to look at the list. Chat's asking if there was if it was Supernatural Vader. I don't know. I'd have to look though.
What list was that?
The game we're gonna do next week, where it was Soontir Vader. I don't think he had Supernatural, did he?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
That would cut into his bid.
Yeah, it would. All right. Let's do this. Oh, wait. We got one more on. We just got one last minute patron. So I will have to get the list here. Kevin, do you want to do the generate a random number for me?
Sure. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
We just taught Kevin how to use Excel last week, so this is exciting for him.
How many people do we have?
1 through 16, please.
Whoa, we're at 16 now.
We are. That's awesome.
All right, I have the number ready.
Right.
Or actually, do you want me to keep hitting it and then you can
no,
tell
I'm
me when to
sorry.
stop?
It's actually 1 through 17.
Oh, okay. I gotta do a new number. I'm just gonna keep hitting it and I'm gonna look away, and you're gonna tell me when to stop.
Okay.
Does that mean stop?
No, that does not mean stop. Stop means stop.
All right.
All right. Let's stop now.
Okay. Number
What do we
4.
got? Number 4. Oh my God.
Is it Carlo?
It is.
I knew it.
Well, hey, we get to save on some shipping then. Carlo, I will bring you your set of templates on Wednesday. Congratulations.
Well, how am I gonna get him to? I suppose we'll.
See you Wednesday, Kevin.
I guess I'm coming to Otana on Wednesday.
And Carlo said it's rigged.
I
I think Carlo won something off Gold Squadron too.
Really? That's awesome.
Not like this today, but like the guy wins a lot.
Rigged.
Number pink.
Yeah, I can maybe try to find it. We'll see. I might be able to make a trip to Otana on Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. That is all I have.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in again for this second episode on the Gold Squadron Entertainment Network, watching Mission Debriefing. Thank you, everybody. We will be back again next week, 8:30 Central.
Yep. Same place, same time.
Take it easy.
Have a good night.